Hey guys, Dan here. Welcome. Excited to talk to you today about your questions, about answering anything that you've got going on in regards to health questions, whether you should be taking a certain supplement, any specific conditions that you're worried about or that you've been diagnosed with, or family or friends, anything at all. Pop those down below. Love getting a hold of you guys. Love asking these questions of me, and I can just answer. And it's great, this give and take. Love having you guys on. Pop down below where you're watching from, all over the country, all over the world. I'll give you a shout out on Facebook and YouTube here. So we're also streaming live on our YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, Brittany will put a link down below. Make sure you get onto that one. That is a great place. We've got over 500 videos, and you can search those really easily. You can go through it in Facebook, a lot more challenging. And some people just aren't using Facebook as much anymore. So go ahead. Hey, welcome, Dawn there in the United Kingdom. And we've got New Jersey and Nashville and Georgia. Great to see you guys on there. Nancy up in Steamboat, Colorado. Been getting a lot of snow. Exciting. Lisa, Janie, great to see you guys. All right, so bring your questions, pop those down below. We had a great video yesterday. Robbie from Ferritin, if you've got any questions about doing saunas, infrared saunas, when you use it, what kind you use. If you didn't watch that video, got a lot of great feedback. It was about an hour long, a lot of good information going back and forth between myself and Robbie, and it's one of the integral tools that we use in our own lives. Michelle and I, in our own lives, we use it with our kids. We've got it set up in our, I'll have her put a picture up today. We've got it set up full time in our bedroom, and it's just a great tool. So if you're not using heat therapy, not using any type of sauna, look into it. It is a wonderful thing. Suzette, great to see you as well. So bring your questions. Some of the things, there we go. All right. Dawn, what do you recommend for osteoarthritis? So a couple different things. Osteoarthritis is different than rheumatoid arthritis. So let me pop this one up. There you go. Cool little feature that we have here. Okay, also for those of you guys that are following the page, if you haven't hit the little bell up in the upper corner that notifies you when we go live, go ahead and do that one so that you can get notified and not miss out on any of the information that we're going over here. So what do you recommend for osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis is going to be different than osteo. Rheumatoid is autoimmune. Osteoarthritis is just, they call it wear and tear, but ultimately, is it just wear and tear? Because we've got a couple things going on here. Sometimes, like, I broke this bone in my wrist playing football a long time ago. Somebody landed on it, broke that bone. It grew back a little bit wider. It's actually why I got into the chiropractic field in the first place. They did cortisone injections, wanted to do surgery, all these things didn't get better. I threw shot put discus. I had to have my wrist, and so I went to my mom's chiropractor, and he fixed it up in half a dozen sessions. And I was in high school, and he's like, "Yeah, why don't you come and shadow, see what I do? I think you'd be good at this." So I watched him. People would come in, feel way better, be happier, loving life, a whole lot more than just writing a script and giving them that. And so I looked into him like, hey, this is the path I want to go down, and it led to this ultimately where I'm at now. But there's a good chance that if I don't take care of this wrist, if I don't keep strengthening it and doing what I need to, I will get arthritis in there. So if you're getting arthritis and it's not autoimmune, then it's usually altered biomechanics. And so if that wrist, because that bone grew back a little bit wider, it doesn't quite mesh like it's supposed to, it's going to cause other things to wear and tear. So we should be able to bend our elbows 10,000 times a day, and they're not going to wear out. I've got patients that are in their 60s over in Nebraska. They bucked more hay bales than you can imagine. And for those of you in New Jersey, you may not know what bucking a hay bale is. That's where you pick up an 80-pound hay bale, throw it up on the tractor, and or throw it into the horses or the cows or whatever, and their hands are totally fine. So it's not just an overuse thing, it's an inflammatory process. I've got people that are almost bone on bone with their knees, with their hips, things like that. And yet we get their inflammation down and that pain goes away. I had a lady a few months ago, she came in and was like, doo, 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 with her knee. And our first visit, she said, I'm probably going to have a knee replacement. She got her inflammation down. She got her weight down. Even within a month or two, totally different on how she felt there. So we've got to get the inflammation down. And then you've got to also correct those biomechanical imbalances. Janie, what causes a fibromyalgia flare? So remember, fibromyalgia is not a real thing. So it's not a disease. It's not, a bacteria causes the liver to do this or whatever. Fibromyalgia is an inflammatory process. And so what happens is if somebody's adrenals get out of balance, if their thyroid gets off, if they're toxic, if they've got Lyme disease, or if they've got Hashimoto's, a lot of different things can drive fibromyalgia symptoms, which is really what that is. So if somebody is getting a fibromyalgia flare, you've got to look at the why. Sometimes it could even be stress. Sometimes it could be that people are ate bad over the holidays and their gut is flared up and now they're getting more of this inflammatory process. So dig deep, dig into what is causing that inflammatory process in your body. Thanks for jumping on, Janie, there in Nebraska. Hey, Rhonda in North Carolina. Rachel, hey there. Help for hot flashes. I love the emoji. I'm not sure if that's crying or sweating on that one. Let me put this one up so you guys can see that. Yes, I'm not sure if that's a crying or a sweating emoji. It probably feels like doing both. So hot flashes, remember, this is the first thing to think about when you're thinking about menopause, perimenopause, postmenopause, any of that stuff, is that the adrenal glands kick out a high percentage of estrogen post-menopause. So with premenopause, your ovaries and everything are working on estrogen and those hormones, but post-menopause, as those goes down, the adrenals actually take up that slack and they're giving out a high percentage of the estrogen at that point. So what does that mean? Well, it's going to be that you're probably adrenal deficient going into your menopause years, and that those adrenals are not working as well as they should. They're not able to do what they need to do with the hormones. So you've got to take a step back, see why the adrenals are depleted. Other thing that can happen is related to the adrenals as well is, remember, DHEA turns into testosterone. Testosterone turns into your different estrogens. And so if you are very stressed, I always say that the testosterone level or testosterone deficiency is proportional to the amount of stress that a woman has in her life. So if you're super stressed out, if your blood sugar is swinging, remember those highs and lows are going to cause a lot of this adrenal stress. So the more swings that we have, the more stress you have in your life, the more hot flashes you're going to have, the lower testosterone, the lower estrogen. So if you are on testosterone replacement therapy, but you're not addressing the why, you are damaging your body. So great question, Rachel. Let us know if you need any help with that. Karen in New Mexico, Angela, Florida, how can I get blood work and your evaluation of it? I have Parkinson's and need your help. Angela, awesome. Great question. Brittany's going to put down a link down below, and she'll send you a message of how we're going to be able to do that. We're actually going live on our new store on our website, and in there we're going to have direct access to the exact blood work that we do with patients in office all over the country at our different F8 centers. So this is super exciting. We're going to be able to bring our blood work to the masses anywhere in the country. We're actually looking into Australia as well, looking at what that process would look like. So all of you down under, look for that. I'll be making an announcement soon. But we'll drop ship the blood work to you. You go to a lab, your local lab, anybody you want to call first and say, hey, can I bring it in? It's probably $20 to get it drawn. And that includes all of the autoimmune markers that we look at, the thyroid, the inflammatory, the blood sugar, the fatty liver, all of these different things. And then you will get to sit down with one of our F8 doctors, highly trained doctors around the country, and they will review exactly what's going on with you in that. And this is like like a $3,000 blood panel if you just go into your regular lab, and we're able to do this for a few $100s. So, super, super good price on the cash lab that we have set up, and you get that consultation. So we'll be posting next week when we have that totally live, and we'll be putting a link out there. But Angela will DM you what that process is going to look like at this point. So Lissa, 5-year-old broke out in hives all over yesterday, even on neck and face. How do we support the body during something like that? So how do you support it? Well, that's where just do some quick Google searches on calamine lotion or different baths, different essential oils. There's a lot of things that can kind of calm down hives. If you need to do some corticosteroid creams, some things like that short term, you got to do what you got to do. But ultimately, you've got to figure out why. Sometimes it's a virus. So a little 5-year-old gets exposed to a virus, RSV, whatever, and it can stimulate this skin reaction, this hive reaction. Some people, it's going to be because of what's going on in their gut. And so has she been on, or him, have they been on a bunch of antibiotics? Do they have leaky gut? Are they having microbiome issues, things like that? That's what you got to figure out, is the why. So yes, short term, you got to calm it down, but ultimately you got to figure out that why. So love having everybody on. Pop down below any questions at all, and where you're watching from. Love to see you guys all over the place. Suzette in North Platte, any recommendations for relief from trigeminal neuralgia? My mom is dealing with a flare-up. So ultimately that's that nerve in the face, and trigeminal neuralgia, you got to figure out, was there damage? So some people, they took a baseball to the face, playing or whatever it was, and that's where that inflammation damage is coming from. But ultimately, it's probably she's in some type of an inflammatory flare. Just like with COVID, we hear all the time that people are losing their hair, and that's basically this virus has stimulated this inflammation in the body, and it's causing inflammation in those hair follicles, and they are falling out. And so you've got to start by addressing where that inflammation is coming from. Get her, just like we've talked about a bunch, Suzette, just like you're doing, get her blood sugar stabilized, get her inflammation down, work on her gut, work on her liver, all these things, and miracles start taking place. People start healing when they're able to do that. Randall, comment on ivermectin, not a horse med, right? So correct, ivermectin is not a horse medication. Do some people use it for deworming horses? Absolutely. Go to Africa, go to India, and ask them if that's a horse medicine, and they'll look at you like you're crazy. They call it Sunday. They take it every week for malaria and a lot of different things. So correct, Randall, ivermectin is not a horse medicine. I can't remember which news channel had said that, but they actually retracted that. That might have been Gupta that brought that back. Rhonda, great to see you. Is taking turmeric bad for those with gallstones? I've read it is so. What can I take if so? I have not seen that personally. Okay, maybe you don't want to do a super high dose of turmeric with gallstones, but I don't think that's going to cause anything major. Ultimately, though, you got to figure out what is causing those gallstones and fix the underlying why. So gallstones a lot of times are a dietary induced thing. The other thing that's interesting, a lot of people don't think about, is the gallbladder is most active between 11 and 1 at night. And so if somebody is not getting a good quality sleep at that time, they may not be flushing out their gallbladder like they need to. If you need to, there's different gallbladder flushes that you can do with taking, and you don't even need to do a full flush at first where it's like the Coca-Cola and olive oil and all of that, but even there's a nice recipe, and if you direct message Brittany, she can get you a copy of that with lemon juice. We had it in our email series a few weeks back, lemon juice, beet, ground up beet, etc. So on that note, if you guys are not on our email list, definitely drop us a DM below or put that into the comments, and we will get you on that list. If you are on the list and you're not getting them, check your junk mail. Occasionally it does go to there, but we've been having some great feedback on the emails. A lot of good topics that we're bringing up. Those are usually going out every Thursday or so. So look for those in your email. But yeah, you got to fix the why with those gallstones. Beet, lemon juice oil, really good to help with that, Rhonda. Samantha, it's used for humans and animals, just like many meds. Yes, so she's talking about the ivermectin there. And would you happen to have an above average chicken enchilada recipe? Drew, that is a great question. Brittany, go ahead and shoot all of our metabolic coordinators, shoot them a message and see if they've got any FA approved chicken enchilada recipes for Drew. Drew, like I said, bring your questions and we'll try to answer them. So that is a first for me on the chicken enchilada recipe, but thanks Drew for jumping on. Brianna, I have Hashimoto's. What is good to take for it? Okay, here we go. What is Hashimoto's? Hashimoto's is going to be autoimmune thyroid, meaning that it is a thyroid condition, but it's ultimately an autoimmune condition. So yes, the thyroid's being affected usually. I say usually because in some people the thyroid's being attacked, but in other people it's not, but it's the bus that transports the thyroid hormones around the body, the thyroglobulin that's being attacked. That's why it's really important, Brianna, which type of Hashimoto's do you have? Do you have TPO or TG, thyroglobulin antibodies? It's very important. TPO is attacking the thyroid. Thyroglobulin is attacking the bus that transports those around the body. So if you do not have everything in place to calm down that autoimmune reaction and just are taking some levothyroxine, just are taking some natural nature throid, armor, whatever, iodine, anything like that, you're not fixing the problem. The problem is your body is attacking its own tissue. So we've got to go through, we've got to downregulate that. Check out our YouTube channel. Brittany, if you can pop down below either a Hashimoto's or an autoimmune video from YouTube there. I probably got a dozen videos on Hashimoto's, a dozen videos on autoimmune. You've got to address the why. So you've got to take that circle back down to autoimmune, and then you go adrenals, blood sugar, leaky gut, vitamin D, estrogenic events. We've got infections, we've got environmental issues, all these things that are going to drive that Hashimoto. So you've got to fix, unfortunately, there's no like, ooh, here, I'm going to sell you this supplement, Brianna, and it's going to fix that. How about this? Today, stabilize your blood sugar between 85 and 110. That's about one of the best things you can do to calm down and stop your Hashimoto. So if you don't have a glucose monitor, Brittany can pop one down below. Super reasonable to get on Amazon. Lynette, can heart failure be reversed? It depends what heart failure you're talking about. That's a pretty broad term and not really a specific thing that we're looking at. Are we talking heart attacks, things like that? Yes, cardiovascular disease can be reversed and plaquing can be reversed. And a lot of the issues that happen with people with their heart and cardiovascular system can be reversed. So again, love having you guys on. Pop your questions down below. And here's the deal. I love getting this information out there. We take many hours a week to educate, to do videos, to do posts, links, all types of things. Share this information with as many people as you can, whether it's this live or anything else that you have. Let's get it out there. Let's help people get their life back, get their health back, take massive action. That's what it comes down to, is we've got to move our feet, and that's what I'm here for. That's what our doctors, our team is here for, to help people move their feet and get their life back. So like our page, follow our page if you're not, share it with as many people as you can. Let's help create this movement to get people their health back. All right, Jeannie, what are some important labs we need to have to improve our health, especially inflammation? Brittany, go ahead and pop down below any that list or the video. I think there's a video I've done a couple times on the top blood markers that you're not doing. They are just routine markers that people aren't doing. So pop that one down for Jeannie. And so here's what we start with: ferritin. If you're not getting your ferritin tested, you have no idea what your inflammatory process is doing. Because if ferritin is high, we know that there's and I'm talking over 125 in women, 150 in men. We know that there's a massive inflammatory process going on. 99% of the time, triglycerides are high, C-reactive protein is high, the insulin resistance and fatty liver, and all these things are cascading down if that ferritin is high. So we've got to look at ferritin, and then you've got to look at GGT. GGT, anything over 20 is going to be indicative of potential fatty liver. We can't diagnose this off GGT, but you can off of a ultrasound or anything like that. But if somebody's GGT is creeping up over 20, very good chance they're going into fatty liver. On that side, then you want to be looking at C-reactive protein and homocysteine. Those are inflammatory markers as well. And then homocysteine is brain, CRP is cardiovascular disease. And then you want to get into non-fasting insulin. So not eating, but just checking insulin throughout the day and seeing how high that is. We find insulin resistance all the time. Thanks, Jeannie, for jumping on. Yeah, Suzette, the hair loss situation with COVID, really what we're looking at is we've got to get that inflammation down. I would look at high dose glutathione, like the trisomal from Apex there, Suzette, and doing at least 5 milliliters twice a day for that bottle, and seeing if that can calm that down. Maybe the high dose turmeric as well. But really, I think it is this inflammatory process that was stimulated by those spike proteins and that whole process in there. So let me know if you've got any other questions on that, Suzette. Debbie in North Carolina, great to see you. Rachel, yep, Hashimoto's. Rachel, which type of Hashimoto's? Do you have Hashimoto's to the thyroid or Hashimoto's to the bus? And let's see what else. I've got about 5 minutes here. Valerie, I lost 30 pounds in 3 months, cutting carbs and sugar. Then the weight just stopped coming off. Hair started falling out and it has since stopped. What do I do to get the weight coming off again? So this is what we see all the time with patients. I say what it took to get down those 30 pounds, to get, if you got another 30 to go, it's going to take like 10 times as much to energy, focus, motivation, everything to get that next 30 off. Why is that? Because when you started and you lost those 30 pounds and cut out sugar and all that, you were overweight, you had a wedding to go to, you were in pain, you were tired, whatever it was, super motivated. Our patients come in and we get them all excited and they're ready, and they take that and the weight starts going down. But then after a while, you're like, well, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm actually down a couple sizes and energy's better and a lot of this. It's not quite as motivating. Then the body, you've got to jumpstart it. You've got to either start adding in exercise. Check out some of our videos on that. We talked a lot about the right heart rate zone and all types of things. You may have gone too far on the keto side. Your blood sugar might be crashing down now. Maybe you cut too many calories and you're actually starving your body. There's a lot of other things that you have to look at. I would run a full blood panel right now and just see where you're at and see what needs to be done differently. Barbara, great to see you in Scottsbluff. We love hiking the monument there. Beautiful country. Debbie, any answers for ringing in the ears? That's a tough one. If it's damage, really, really hard. Otherwise, if it's metabolic, look for the liver. That can definitely be something going on there. Dot in Lexington, awesome, good to see you. And is there information about transient global amnesia, or have you ever even heard of it. Not a lot of information out there on that. It's not something that comes across our plate very often. I would definitely look into doing a brain map, trying to figure out where it's coming from. But send us a DM on that one. That's a little more in depth than I have time right now. Yeah, so neat ideas to increase red blood cells, anemia without raising sugar levels. Absolutely. So easy one to do is just to take some iron. And that's a good place to go. If somebody's got anemia, look for leaky gut. So your gut, you're probably not absorbing, you're losing blood in the digestive tract, malabsorption, something is going along there. So you've got to fix that leaky gut as well. And those things should not affect your I'm just thinking things that contain iron don't really raise the blood sugar anyway, so you should be good there. Lorraine, best things to be doing, taking daily for optimal health in general. Great, Chrissy, and then I have to finish up on this one, and any other questions we'll answer later on this. And if you're watching this as a replay, pop those down below, and we keep an eye on it all day. So best things doing, taking daily for optimal health in general. So here's what here's what I do. And am I perfect? No. And yet, it's a thing that I've been studying and looking at for a long time. So get to bed at a good hour. I like to be in bed before 9 o'clock. I'm up at 4:50. I like to get between 7.5 and 8 hours of sleep. I like to sleep colder. It's 60, 61 degrees in the winter. I'm going to get one of those chill pads in the summer. We don't run the AC all night, so it gets a little warm in our room. I like to sleep with it dark, with blackout curtains, with not getting extra light coming in. I like to prepare myself for sleep. So using a massage gun, we're going to do a good review on a massage gun coming up next month. I like to monitor my sleep. I like to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to prepare for that. When I wake up in the morning, I get up at a consistent time. My body is used to that. Even on the weekend, it wakes up at a very similar time. I get up, take what I'm going to take before working out, amino acids, creatine, take a high dose DHA, which is a fish oil, but for the brain as opposed to inflammation. And I take some nitric oxide increasers, which are going to get blood flow going. I've got genetics for my brain from concussions and APOE, so I've got genetics for Alzheimer's. So taking that as well. Then I go out onto the treadmill and I do my journaling, writing, praying, getting prepared for the day. Maybe I'll send Brittany a post or two that I want you guys to look up and learn about today. And then I'll do so that's all on the treadmill. Walk, keep moving. No, I don't need to sit any more than I do throughout the day. And then I'll do some type of a cardio, usually run, walk, incline, row, 10-15 minutes, and then I'll do some type of a strength activity, upper body, lower body, CrossFit type exercise, something like that, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then boom, inside, and then get on with the day. I try to move throughout the day as much as possible. My meals, protein, veggies, and good fats, do that 3 times a day. In here, I've got today I've got I use on a daily basis, just because, just like Robbie yesterday, we're getting toxified every day. We might as well detoxify every day. I know what to eat to keep my blood sugar steady throughout that day. It's very boring. It's very consistent. I'm going to get the continuous glucose monitor again in a few weeks. I'll be wearing that again and show you guys and give you information on that. And so then I can see all day long what that looks like. I'm in the process. This is let me show you this one here. If it can come off, this this ring. This is actually a plastic ring, and you can see those little bumps there. And it's a sample for the Aura ring, O-U-R-A. I'm going to be doing a review on that one. That's going to track my steps, my heart rate, my sleep, my HRV, all types of different things. I'll be letting you know what I learned from that. So health monitoring is really, really important as well. Monitoring your blood sugar, doing those things, and that, a long answer. That is what I do on a day in and day out basis. If I run blood work and see specific systems are stressed or depleted or need some support, I'll take nutritional supplementation to help that. But otherwise, try to get sardines, herring, salmon multiple times throughout the week. We hunt. And so I've got deer, elk, bison in the freezer, and we use that at least 3-4 times a week to try to get as good of quality eggs as I can. We've got a greenhouse, so we're growing our vegetables as much as we can. Even in the winter here, we're still getting some kale out of our greenhouse. So that's kind of what you need to do. But here's the thing. Even if you're only doing 80% of that or 50% of that, it's consistency, and you've got to do it day in and day out, over and over and over. I've got a buddy, and he'll do great 3 weeks and then fall off the wagon for 3 weeks, and then do great for a month and then fall off. And it's been like this for years. And I'm like, dude, do like half as good as those 3 weeks when you're on, but do it every single day. And that is the most important part. That's the consistency that you need. So great question, Chrissy. Love having you guys on. Pop any other questions down below. If I didn't get to it, we'll be answering them. Love having you on all over the world, all over the country. Stay strong. Keep your immune system like it needs to be. Stay positive. This is the best time ever in the history of the world to be living. And we're so blessed with everything that we have. So love you guys. Take care. Have a great day.